It was a peaceful fall morning. The sun was just clearing the trees. Moving gently atop the water, I looked back to see the bridge no longer in sight. Ahead, beyond the sluggish current, the unknown was waiting for us. A fury of emotion swelled inside me. I was just a young boy, but it was a day that I'll never forget. We finished milking the cows on a Saturday morning and drove 2 miles to a small creek. I helped Dad unload the rowboat from the truck bed and cast it into the water. With a rusty clump of Victor Long Springs and a bundle of alder stakes, we shoved off. Working the oars, he scanned the marshy shore for signs of activity. He could see things that were invisible to me. I studied intently as he set each trap. Rounding the next bend, forging deeper into the wilderness, my spirit soared. It was my first experience in a land that offered no evidence of man. Being submersed in nature and matching wits with a wild animal consumed me. As I sat on the bow of that aluminum boat, trapping muskrats on Lightning Creek with my father, I knew that mine was to be a life of adventure in wild places. There was a lot of factors that drove me to Alaska. All the experiences that I had as a young kid growing up on a farm definitely influenced me and gave me the strength to go and pursue my dreams. And maybe when it got right down to the nitty-gritty, it was my mom that said, "Billy, this is your dream." I was 19 years old and I didn't know if I should go out west to guide school. She said, "Billy, this is your dream. If you don't do it now, you never will." And the hardest thing of a farm kid becoming a hunting guide in Alaska was making it from Turtle Lake, Wisconsin, where I grew up my whole life, and making it the first 5 miles to Clayton, Wisconsin on my way to northwest Montana. Literally, I've lived the life that I don't even know that I dared to dream about. Everything that I've wanted to do as a kid, for some reason, I've been fortunate enough to do it.
I knew he'd be successful. I mean, even in school, he didn't really run with the crowd or anything. I mean, he did what he wanted to do. I was confident that whatever he did, it was going to be lifetime. So he's doing what he should be doing.
The first hunter I ever guided in Alaska, I wasn't old enough to drink beer yet, but I was pretty fortunate to be exposed to the outdoors my whole life. So, and 90% of hunting, I think, is instinct. I was fairly confident, maybe sometimes a little too confident, I guess. But yeah, there's certainly been bumps in the road. This is what I've wanted to do since I was a young kid. So I always learned, and I think that's the greatest thing about the sport. That's the one thing my grandpa undoubtedly did, is he always learned, and he was always teaching me. Now 17 years into it, I guess a lot of the hunters, they're still 23, 30 years older than I am, but all those mistakes that I made as a young kid, they've given me the experience and given me the confidence that I have today. Yeah, there's been lots of things when I look back at 17 years of guiding in Alaska. Had an airplane crash right before me. When I saw the pilot's head slam forward, I figured he was dead for sure. He survived, but yeah, that moment's etched in my mind forever. A lot of bear incidents, been close on several different occasions, but yeah, time spent alone in the mountain. As they say, sometimes the silence is deafening. So I've learned a lot about myself, and I think that's part of why hunters like to go to a desolate wilderness. When you're away from all the man-made distraction and it's just you and Mother Nature, you learn a lot about yourself. My youngest daughter was born while I was in Alaska. That's another event. When I look back at it now, perhaps maybe the day that my youngest daughter was born, while I was 3,000 miles away, I think I learned more about myself and more about life that day than any other day of my life. All those lonely nights, if you will, 6 years of my life that I've lived in a tent, it definitely has taught me that if you want something to happen in your life, you just gotta grab hold of it and do it. I've learned so much in my life from the guys that I've guided. I'd like to think there's, some of the guys, I've had some express that they've learned things from me, but probably more so some of the people that I've come across over the years. Some of my best friends are guys that I've guided. When you're in such an intimate setting for a week to 2 weeks, it's me and my hunter every day. Most of the time we're sleeping side by side in the tent, we're eating every meal together, we're working as a team together to hunt whatever animal it is. And there's a special bond to be found there. And for anyone who's ever hunted with a buddy, gone out west, gone to Alaska, whatever it is, and the more difficult, the more challenging the adventure, the hunt, or the undertaking of any sort, the more rewarding it is, and the tighter that bond becomes. Deer hunting in Wisconsin and growing up trapping with my grandpa and my dad, that's why I do what I do today. That's what started me off on my career and has led me to this stage of my life.
My first memory of trapping was I went with my dad. I wasn't in school yet. It was early 50s. We were going to trap enough muskrats that year to buy a TV set for the family, older brothers. And well, anyway, the second day my dad caught 108 muskrats. So I don't know how many traps he had out. He probably had a couple hundred traps out, maybe even 300 traps.
My grandpa was a professional trapper for his entire life. When I was a young boy, I would be down in his basement and help him skin hides. I would basically just watch him.
He'd always take his time, I always wanted to skin him quick and be done with it. He'd sit there and whistle and, just take his time. I don't know, he just enjoyed it.
I can't say that on a real personal level that I knew your grandpa, but everybody knew the story. The stories, how he was going up Canada moose hunting, and he built this track machine and on his own and took that up there and shot these moose and stuff. Yeah, that's just something that a young kid hears these stories, and it I want to do that too,
When I'd go over to my grandpa's house, as soon as I'd walk in the door, every time I went there, I'd look at this picture that he had hanging on his wall of him with a moose, and he was holding the Savage, 303 Savages in his arm. It was taken in December 1965, if I remember right. Man, what an adventure that must have been. What happened on that hunt? And I think from that moment, I always wanted to do something like that. When I first went to Alaska, I wanted to go moose hunting because of that picture that I always looked at as a kid. It always made me want to experience something like my grandpa had experienced. Without him sharing those stories and igniting my adventurous spirit, there's no doubt that I wouldn't be where I am today.
Now I look back and I wish I'd asked him more and different questions, but it was just ever since I grew up, that's the way it was. I never asked too many questions, and I wish I'd With Billy came along, well, I don't know, he was gung-ho on everything, so I had to take him trapping. So I hadn't trapped for a few years, with the milk cows and stuff. And Dad always trapped every fall, and like with the potato harvest, he was always busy, but yet he found time to trap, so it's just kind of a heritage, I guess.
I guess one wish that is no longer to be fulfilled would be to have hunted in Alaska with my grandpa. As I've guided, gotten a little bit older, had more experiences in the wild, I've realized how much he's impacted my life and how much alike he and I are.
I don't know, our lives, my buddies, Gus and I, doing different things, and the kids and stuff, and dairy farming was the main drawback, so take time. we're lucky if we take time for a 3-day weekend, you know, so never took a vacation, never went to Mount Rushmore or anything like that, you know, one day or that was about it, you know, so.
My dad's the hardest working man I've ever known. For as long as I can remember, growing up on a farm, it's just work. I mean, that's he worked so hard, and he never took much time out to enjoy himself, to do any hobbies. The only thing he would never miss every year was our 9-day rifle deer season. Me, my brother, my dad, my grandpa, some of my dad's buddies. We'd always hunt 9 days during deer season.
Yeah, I'm Augustus, 1 shot, 1 kill. And got that from not the 1 shot, 1 kill, but the Augustus came from Lonesome Dove. I just like that character. He did good. He's my kind of guy.
Greg, he was always a team player, and I think he, maybe more than anybody else that I remember hunting with as a young boy, he seemed to enjoy all aspects of the hunt.
You come from a hunting family, and my dad was not a hunter. He never hunted at all. At that time, outdoor life, you could order a rifle with a Taskell scope for $29, a 30-06. It was a club, really. You'd shoot it, and the next shot, you know, it'd be way off. I think the crosshairs moved in the scope, but it didn't matter. We had a gun, and that's when we started deer hunting, and it just grew from then. We've been hunting all our lives, you know, from then on, you know. Your dad and I and my brother Phil and Merlin Richter made that first trip. I think it was like 1969. I'm pretty sure. We went to Wyoming. I had just gotten back out of the service from Nam, and your dad had just gotten out of the service.
Well, it was a fun hunt. Yeah, it was an adventure too. We just took a small trailer and Phil's car. We pulled it with a car. Of course, got to the Twin Cities, the car was overheating right away. And their dad, we stopped at their house, and he said, well, you better take some car chains along. And, well, of course, it was early October. Well, we don't need chains. Well, he said, I'll throw some chains in from the pickup. You know, we don't, going up in the mountains, we ran into a blizzard. Well, needless to say, you know, about 18 hours after their dad threw the chains in the car, we were using them. Of course, they were long, and we had to strap them.
We hunted, and it was just great. You know, it was another experience, something to enjoy in life. And we went out there another time or two, and then, of course, everybody got married and got responsibilities, so that kind of fizzled out for a few years. But I never lost the dream of going somewhere else or doing something but I always wanted to go to Alaska all my life.
I think this hunt is as exciting for me as it is for my dad and Greg. There's a lot of people, a lot of events, a lot of history that led up to this adventure. So when the idea came about to go hunting in Alaska, go caribou hunting in Alaska, and for my dad to use my grandpa's old Savage, as he would call it, when I thought of that, I knew for sure that Dad and I needed to do this hunt together. And when I posed it that way to my dad, I know that's what sealed it for him as well. And then once Gus agreed to come, it was a done deal.
You called and said something about you had the plane tickets and everything lined up, and then actually the outfitter called me and talked to me, and then I knew I'm there. There's no backing out anymore. We're going. I probably would have never went if I would have had to go by myself. There's another big thing right there, like I mentioned before, if you know who you're going with, so that made it a lot easier to make that choice if you got a buddy that wants to do it and go with you and stuff. Absolutely.
With the caribou hunt in Augustus, I mean, well, he's got a passion for life like Billy, and you know, he's a special character and friend, and wouldn't have wanted it any other way with Billy and Gus, and you know, it's just unique. I mean, it's special.
When we got to Prudhoe Bay or Dead Horse, and got in that truck and start heading to base camp. Now we're really here. Yeah, and then taking the gun out and zeroing it in, and then getting on that plane and flying over the tundra. And I'd never seen tundra before. Didn't really know what it was. I mean, you know, you read about all this stuff, but until you actually get there and do it, it's hard to visualize the whole thing. Everybody can tell you what it's like, but you got to be there to have the full experience of the whole thing.
The dawns last forever. I mean, the sun comes up and it's so quiet, you know, when you're out there, and I mean, nothing's moving, you know, there are very few birds, and that in the morning, you know, here dawn's a half hour, hour long, but up there the sun comes up 5-6 hours. I mean, there's no wind. I mean, it's kind of, the silence is deafening, but I mean, it's just so unique too that, you know, just look at the vastness. And
as far as the Brooks Range seemed like it's a long way away from where we were. Maybe not, but you can see forever.
I think more than anything, I knew that they were at a point in their life that just the adventure, no matter what happened, I knew the adventure. I knew they had some perceived notions of what was going to happen, but I think the thing that I was looking forward to most was what it was going to be, that each moment or each experience that we had in that week, I knew that more so than shooting a caribou, it was going to be those smaller details that are going to stick with them after this hunt is all over with.
Can I get it done? Am I too old? Can I really handle this? Am I man enough? You know?
And I know a caribou hunt in Alaska, my dad and Greg, I don't think they were sure if they could. To try something where you might fail. And I know that was part of it. That's part of what we were after. We wanted to do something. We wanted to test ourselves to just see, hey, let's see what we got. Let's square off. Let's experience Alaska for a week, and let's see how things shake out. And that's what makes it exciting. Kurt's gonna literally cut a new strip. Just use the old weed whacker here. Another day, another dollar. Another day, another dollar. Time to go out into the field once again for the last hunt of the year. It'll be a 2-on-1 caribou hunt. Old Pa Moles and Greg Quaddy are coming out. An old family friend, buddy of my dad's for many years. So this is going to be a special hunt.
We'll see if we can still find caribou there at old Cat 1, and if we think it's going to be long enough. 641 back taxi. For a 1-7 departure, we'll be northeast bound. Well, it's real low and braided out here. Oh, can you land me there? There's one there. Yeah, we could probably land once, Bill. I see a little group in front of us. Here, we'll just make some loops and then fly down the ridge and then fly back. Yeah, they seem to be kind of hubbed around here, don't they? Yes. Well, we'll go downstream a little bit and upstream and so the migration path seems to be right through this area. I think he'll do well here. Yeah, it looks like we'd be able to walk across that creek pretty really easily. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna like it right into the sun. It's short and in the sun, but it's rough. Yeah. It's got all the good characteristics of a strip. Trying to get a sense here for the wind. So I'm gonna line up for this one, Bill, and see if we can get slowed down. Then we'll see how much ground we use. It's about 300 feet. So this is virgin country. This is brand new virgin. This has never been landed on. Yeah, we may have to go out of here with some light loads. Thinking you might like it right over in there. Sure.
Quiet for a little bit.
All right, we'll do it. Thanks, Kurt.
Thing is, it's your paw coming.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Well, this looks like a fair enough spot. Runway's relatively short, but workable as long as there's not a contrary wind. I'm looking forward to this hunt. Been looking forward to it for a couple of years now. My dad and his buddy Mad Dog are coming out. My dad and I have been kind of planning on doing this for a couple of years, and then Mad Dog caught wind of it. Paul, I think, needed somebody to babysit him through the airport and getting up here, so they've been up here fishing for the last few days. The Kenai Peninsula, I think, salmon and halibut and stuff. So they've been screwing around, and now they're coming out. They should get in today, hopefully out into the field today. So they were getting picked up at the airport this morning, and yeah, this should be a good one. There's definitely no shortage of blueberries here. Parker squirrel, he's a big one. It's 11:15. Just spent the last hour and a half setting up my camp. But I'm gonna take it down and do it all over again. Can't hear the river, I don't like it. This will be Greg Mad Dog Quaddy's first and probably last hunting adventure in Alaska. I think he's 67 years old. He's dreamed of it all of his life. And this is gonna be me and my dad's last hurrah. I'll never forgive myself if I don't do it. So we're gonna listen to the creek every night. When we fall asleep, we're gonna hear it every day as we eat breakfast. Every night as we eat supper. I'm gonna move the camp. Almost got camp reset up. Looks like a cow, a couple of bulls. Seen a fair number of caribou floating around. Pretty warm today. Got a mosquito biting my arm right now. Setting up the teepee. Gonna put all the grub over here. We don't have to have the bear fence and all that garbage on this land, so that's kind of handy. I should pretty well have everything all dialed in before the boys get here. Which one of my non-tipping hunters do you have on board, Kurt Dog? This is weird, guiding somebody that I know so well. It's been 12 years since my dad's hunted in Alaska. We hunted moose and grizzly bear together, so he made her. Looks like Mad Dog's here. You made her, Mad Dog?
Hey, Billy.
I was kind of questioning if you two old sod busters could figure out how to make it to Alaska or not.
Don't worry. We better.
This see ya.
Yeah, you damn right, boy.
You guys catch any fish?
Yeah, we got some halibut. It was tough going.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by caribou, Mad Dog.
I see that.
Should we go shoot one?
Well, I guess we can't today.
Testing you.
That was good to be here. This is what I came for. That fishing didn't really get me going.
Glassing some bowls right from camp.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. They're in the velvet too, right?
Yep, they should be peeling here any day. I'm sure some of them have started. Typically they've pretty well started by the 25th.
You don't look too terrible bad to me.
Midwestern deer hunters are usually easy to please when it comes to caribou.
Thank you, Billy.
So how old are you, Mad Dog?
How old am I?
Yeah.
Old enough to know better. I'm 66 years old.
Okay.
That's the Brook Range over here, the mountains.
Yeah. That's where...
You hunt the sheep in, right?
Yep, exactly.
Now how far is that one standing right over there?
Probably 250.
Okay.
Be my guess. I got a rangefinder, but this kind of what you imagined as a young kid? Coming to Alaska, mountains in the background, caribou cruising around, grizzly bear gnawing on you before long.
This is a dream come true, Billy. Especially to be with your dad and you. More than actually a human deserves.
Mad Dog can't keep his eyes off of that one.
Yeah, I can see my one initial already on him. I don't know if I'll get the other one on him if he's around.
You want to crawl through the mud, Mad Dog, you'll be doing that alone. I'll watch.
Well, if I have to get close enough for a shot, I'll do it.
We had to run the caribou off the runway so he doesn't get chewed up in the prop. Yeah, they ain't too concerned, are they?
We made her.
I see that. Yeah, I had my doubts that you two would make it here all the way from Minneapolis, Pa. Gotta be honest. I wouldn't give either one of you much for style points, but yeah, they made her.
He did her. He did her.
Grandpa's little pea shooter. How's it going, Pops? Good to see ya.
But you know how it goes. The day we land you, there's lots of game. Now, you wake up in the morning, you're ready to shoot, can't see a thing.
Well, I told Billy, I said, well, we just can't plotch that out of camp. We got to at least have a little bit of a stock. I told myself, I'll crawl through the mud if I have to.
Okay.
See you in a bit, Kurt.
All right, Pat. We'll see you in a little bit.
You guys are like 8-year-olds on your first squirrel hunt. That's good to see. That's my grandpa's old 303 Savage. Dad said he hit a 4x4 square almost every time at how far?
75 yards. It was.
He seems to think the rifling's all worn out, but
I thought that held 6. It's amazing how many shells that holds. Might as well throw another one in. You know me.
You're gonna need her. You're gonna need her, Moggy.
what year did he buy it? 1922?
The 20s. That's all I know.
22 is what I had in my head.
What green bullet are you shooting in there?
What'd you buy me?
I don't even remember.
150.
I think they're 150s.
Oh, that'll get off.
Soft points.
Smoke them pretty good then.
Yeah, she'll do her.
And Mad Dog's got old Susie there laying in the brush, just bear medicine.
Alaska, ain't she?
Gus!
Got the deer head in there and... How many yards you got?
I don't know. This is a video camera. How many yards you got? About day 4 or 5, I'd say he's in serious jeopardy of losing his life.
I just hope when I shoot, I don't hear Billy saying, reload.
I will.
Shoot him again.
This caribou hunting ain't too tough, huh, Pa? You just sit with the rifle on the lap, stare at the mountains in the distance, and glass caribou. Decent bull. Keeps hanging around. So Anchorage really wasn't your thing, huh, Mad Dog? This is a little bit more of the Alaska you dreamed of.
This is what I came for. Yeah, that it was good and fun and everything, but this is where I belong. No doubt about it. Been dreaming about this for many years, and here I am. Gonna do her.
Kurt's popping in just to drop off a few extra things.
Well, I'll be damned.
We'll call him Justin. We'll leave him there just in case we don't get anything else. We'll shoot him.
That I can't recall. But it was just recently.
Take a peek, look through there.
Oh, okay.
I got that one.
You got him cornered?
Yep.
You guys got this thing so high, I don't know. Oh yeah, I got him. Ooh, he's just standing there.
Well, here's the bull they're all jazzed up about. I don't think he's any bigger than the one that just strolled through camp, but...
He don't look like he's got no velvet on him horns.
So, yeah, they're rubbed off.
This is almost laughable. It was, how old am I, 35? It was 25 years ago. God, 25 years ago I first started hunting with these guys. I wasn't hunting then, but I was just coming along, and these guys were like gods of hunting, you know? They knew everything that I wanted to know, and here they are. Oh, there's one! Where did he come from? It's like, well, he went behind that willow bush there for a couple of minutes. Hey, there's one! Like kids in a candy store, as they say. I love it. I love it. It reminds me how spoiled I am to have done this for as long as I have and to seen this. This is exactly...
Now the sun on those mountains too.
What do we got? There's a caribou right there. Making sure it wasn't a bear.
Where at? Behind us?
Oh, just, yeah, it was right in the river bottom. I just saw something moving, making sure it wasn't a bear. But it's a good reminder for me how fortunate I am to do this.
I love it. Finally made it. Been doing this, wanting to do this for 100 years. I'm not 100 years old, but I'm wanting to do it for 100 years. I'm finally doing it.
Mad Dog says we're in heaven.
They're just a couple of old boys that I grew up with from Turtle Lake, Wisconsin, who dreamed of hunting Alaska just like I did.
don't want to be crawling out of
Joe was my dad. Greg was my dad's buddy. We went to high school together. This is what they wanted to do, and I'm the guy that's with them when they do it. To escape the modern world and behold a vast and unspoiled wilderness humbles the sturdiest of men. It reunites the hunter with who he is at his core. Life takes on new meaning and direction. Free of all inhibitions, unbridled excitement and anticipation like that of a child cleanses the soul. Adventures of old rekindle a fire within. The endless tundra and the timeless mountains surrounding us fuel our spirits. Our time in the last frontier is upon us. The possibilities are endless. A story untold begins.
It can't be more. 75 yards. You think?
I'd say about that.
Doesn't look as big now.
Yeah, he's not.
Ain't very wide.
We got a couple of wolverines. I'm assuming it's a female with a young one.
A couple of wolverines, you don't see them very often.
No, I was gonna say they're pretty nocturnal devils, ain't they?
Well, they're just they're pretty rare. And when you do see them, that's what they're doing, they're moving.
Yeah, they cover a big territory, I guess.
They're a little over a mile away. Oh yeah, we're bounding down the hill. Day number 1, pretty slow. Saw a few caribou, they're just all scattered out. There's no good herds. Saw a couple of decent bulls. Nothing like after we landed. It seemed there was caribou all around us when we landed, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's just nice bull after nice bull parading past camp. Right here's the camp, about 500 yards up the hill in this rim rock. There was a real dandy. I mean, would have been one of the biggest in camp for the season, but nothing good was anywhere to be found this morning. So we're gonna go down, I'll cook up a good meal and rest up, get up early, just kind of glass from camp, see what's about. If we don't see anything, we'll climb up on the hill, scope her out, do her all over again. Well, Mad Dog, you can say that you've officially hunted in Alaska. We're far from done, but day number 1's pretty well in the books.
I think we had a good start. Tomorrow's another day.
That's a Roger. Paw?
Ditto.
He's a man of few words for a reason.
Crawling out of the tent. Morning of day 2. We're fogged in, but there's caribou right in camp. Bull we saw last night. Great hunters are snoring. Seeing more game now that we're fogged in than did yesterday. There's a bull moose. I'm just having coffee. Spotted something moving through. Bull moose. Yeah, probably about a 40 inch type. Well, I woke up the great white hunters. Actually, I think they were awake. They knew it was foggy. I thought the one was a little bigger. Yeah, that one's probably about 40-ish. I realize now there's 2. This one walking right at me is right around 50. 45, 50. Kind of cool. Yeah, he sees our tent. This is the real reason why you come to Alaska. Just to see things you've never seen before, and this is the stuff you remember. Being in the wilderness and having 2 bull moose walk right through your camp on day number 2 when it was all fogged in. That's pretty cool. Yeah, he had enough. He gave us a stare down. Well, the sun's trying to poke through.
What Western was that? I don't know what it was, but I remember it. I do my killing after breakfast. Some guys were having a showdown and they wanted to know what time. He said 10 o'clock and do my killing after breakfast.
I knew it.
No,
Just fog's just breaking. A few decent bulls up there.
things are looking good.
day 2 is, we've actually seen more caribou today close than we did yesterday. There's quite a fair number, I would say. There's probably 50 caribou within 2 miles of us. Haven't seen anything big though. There was a couple pretty good ones, but they were 3-4 miles away. So we were kind of keeping an eye on them, and then this fog rolled back in. But there's a couple pretty good ones in this herd we're looking at. Fog just cleared.
Oh, that one is good.
Probably 30, 40 milling around there. Kind of heading northeasterly, but for right now. He's a big old grizzly, probably a boar. He's really, really dark. When I first spotted him, I didn't know if he was, kind of figured he was a moose because it was so dark. I knew it wasn't a caribou. You want to check him out there, Grizzly Moles?
Yeah, Captain Call will put the... Yeah, Woodrow, you get down there.
Yeah, he's a pretty big bear. As dark as he is, it's probably 90% that he's a boar. We got a few caribou around. There's a bunch of bulls just popped up on the ridge. Put an eyeball on them. These are about 3 miles away, and 2.5 probably. Everything seems to be about 2 miles away. I haven't seen anything big enough worth running after.
With the filming and go to heading them off. What do you think, Gustus?
Well, I expect. Let's see if they come a little closer for me.
Attaboy.
Some foolish errand across the prairie here, or tundra, as they call it here.
Those are about as good as anything we've seen. The ones that you can see, he's got pretty good shovels, a little bit everything, but probably about like the ones we had pretty close to camp. Maybe not quite as big as that one, but
Flew in.
yeah. So yeah, generally the flow has been, and they've been kind of, all the caribou have been kind of milling around a little bit, but generally the flow has been this way, westward. So we had a bunch of bulls on this point. We got up this morning, a bunch of them right here. A few of them have worked right through here, so they're scattered all around us. Just kind of a matter of getting some in a workable position where we kind of have an idea where they might go, or you go chasing after every good caribou you see, you end up just ramming back and forth. So we'll just kind of watch these, see what they're doing. They just popped over the ridge to where we could see them. So we'll just kind of try to get an idea of which direction they're going. If they head north, we won't even try, but if they're angling this way at all, we might put a move on them. Figure he'll do. Gus?
I'll get a better look at him. What's your opinion? We're going to be able to do better?
Yeah, I'd say there's a good chance we could do better. There's a chance we won't, but...
Well, yeah, he's coming out of the trees now towards the other ones. He's bloody everywhere. Now he's beating the hell out of another tree.
We're actually... They were on this bench when the fog cleared, so we just kind of watched them, and then they worked away, so we just kept our eye on them. They eventually bedded back up on that bench. Now they're seem to be committing to come this way, so. And there's one couple of decent bulls in there. One that's got a white cape on him that Mad Dog's looking for, and he's got a fair rack, so we might be making a play on him and putting a big sneak on him.
That ain't exactly saying we're going to get him though either.
No, that's for sure. Well, when and yesterday we didn't have anything really to speak of anywhere near close enough to go after.
The adrenaline's starting to pump already. Okay.
That dog's waited his whole life to stalk some big game animal in Alaska. The juices are flowing?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
We're after it.
So they're kind of side hilling. Well,
they seem to be kind of wanting to side hill, wanting to go down, so they haven't committed really. So we're just going to keep a little bit of elevation, get over to this rim rock on that ridge, see what they're going to do. If they're still up there, then we'll ease up over to this next point. Take her as she comes.
Packing up everything?
Packing her up. We're armed and dangerous. Dangerous anyways.
Yeah.
They've busted off that hill. There's some of the cows and calves. The bulls are a little bit farther. We got the wind right. Pretty well going this way or towards us. Caribou are about 600 yards beyond the tents. We've got about 10 other caribou outside of that little group, and even that group, I don't know what there is, about 20. They're all kind of spread out. And there's about 10 others scattered out in between us and them, so as long as we can keep them from boogering off the ones we're after, we should be alright. Well, we're set up and they're moving now. They were moving that way, so we redirected. Now they're got down in the river, and now they're kind of coming right at us. So that's the lead one, about 200 yards, but that's not the one we're looking for. You can see antler tips moving through the tundra there. You're on a gravel bar with Alaska with a caribou in your scope, Mad Dog.
Might as well let them keep coming closer, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to get out of sight. You know, if they kind of keep working. But yeah, we don't want to shoot them just yet. Yeah. Not just yet. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely under 200 now. So I don't know if you, I don't think I'd use your 200-yard pin, Mad Dog.
The biggest. Coming in and
that's the red one's looking right at you, but don't shoot. There's 3 behind him. Don't shoot. One right behind him.
Is that him coming there with the label?
Are you on him there, Mad Dog?
I don't think they're going to get a shot at him.
Alright, look for him to come out to the right. So get ready, get set up out to the right. You know, just a little bit further to the right where he is. Kind of right in between that group. That's probably going to be your only shot.
What's he at?
He's going to be 200.
Shit, no, another one's coming.
He's going to be 200. Just stay on him. You on him? You can take him right there, right in the shoulder.
He went down.
Did they get him?
You know what we call that?
One shot.
I don't know if
He's up.
No.
No.
You tatered him.
I did.
You tatered him.
Holy
I don't-
crap, Ola.
I don't know if I had the camera on or not. I think I did. I might have hit the button.
Susie, baby. Did her again. Thank you, Billy.
Nice job, man.
Thank you, everybody.
Good shot. No, we don't want to shoot anything here.
Well, I ain't gonna shoot.
No.
I guess I better.
Yeah, we can empty her out. I think he's pretty well. Yeah, you could just take it out, put it back in the clip, and then.
Gonna.
There ain't nothing moving.
Good shot, Mad Dog. I like it. Yeah, that's the problem with these darn caribou. This open country, and then we didn't dare try to get closer when you got multiple animals, and then they kind of snuck up here about 150, maybe was the nearest, probably about 160, 170.
Susie done spoke. We got spectators on the hills here.
Oh yeah. Well, the one shot, one kill, Augustus McRae.
I can goddamn go home and don't have to worry about taking no crap that I missed either. Still got my title.
Oh, you made a good shot though when you can only see that top half, and you know when they're kind of going away, and it was probably just that shot, and that was gonna be all you had.
I put that 200 pin on him.
I don't know if they got nervous. Yeah, I bet you shot a little high. I kind of figured that. Because usually on an odd 6 like that, if you're on at 100, you're only going to be about too low at 2. So I got to think that shoots high at 200. But at any rate, well, we won't pack it. I'll just take one load tonight, and we'll come back tomorrow and
Be fresh.
Well, should we go get our mitts on them?
I can hardly wait to get a close-up.
Well, let's go check them out. Two old dudes have hunted together for 45 years. I don't think he's got any. No.
He's a goner. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a long time coming, boys. And I done her with great people.
Yeah, he's pretty wide. That's what you look for. I always figure if you can get 2 body widths wide, you got a whopper. But those aren't easy to come by. Yep. And I was hoping that he would walk. Mad Dog actually spotted these. Paul and I were glassing from the other side. They were on this bench, and then they went up over, and eventually they came back, and then we made the stalk once they got down here. They didn't go far from where, when they went down, they didn't travel far.
No, they didn't.
Matter of fact, as we were stalking, they hadn't moved at all, and then we kind of changed our plans and worked around, and they kind of fed right to us. Greg, Mad Dog, Augustus, Quaddies. Did I miss any?
That's close enough.
Alrighty. Well, day number 2. Your dream hunt has been realized.
Absolutely it has. Well, the only advice I can give anybody is, if you're gonna do something like this, don't wait quite as long as I have. Because remember, today is as old as you've ever been, but more importantly, it's as young as you'll ever be. So if you can figure that one out, then you're on my level.
Turn his rack a little bit like that. Yeah, there you go. That way we can see your face. Yeah, he's nice caribou. We've seen a few bigger. Well, right the day that we landed in camp, we saw a couple real nice ones. But then yesterday it was real thin. And actually we saw a fair number today. We saw a couple pretty good ones on the ridge behind us, but they were just traveling the other way and hunting this open country. There's nothing to narrow them down. And I think this is definitely the best one we've seen within 2 miles of camp here the first 2 days of hunting. And Mad Dog made a good shot on him, and yeah, what do we got? 6 o'clock, day number 2. Gus scores.
Just hope that grizzly you seen today don't find this.
Yeah, well, the wind's going the right way, so hopefully we'll be all right.
All right, Billy, Joe, for being with me and sharing this moment with me.
Pleasure hunting with you. We got a couple of quarters. Mad Dog's got the back straps, tenderloins. Pop just had an anchor in his pack, so he just dumped his pack back by camp. So we're just gonna leave that there. It's 7:45. Got her all tarped and dried in, all butchered up, ready to go. You ready for the pack out, Mad Dog?
Yeah, get my wet boots off. This is great.
Maybe have a brewski tonight?
I don't know about that. Wait until Mogi gets his, maybe.
Okay.
Do it all at one time.
We're still
big day tomorrow.
We're still a little gun shy from the first evening. We were big shots that first night. It was fun though. Got a few caribou up on the hill. The one looks pretty big, boy.
Mad Dog passed up.
Just giving him a hard time. We're getting there, dog.
Yep, slow but sure.
Isn't this tundra fun?
Yep. Well, could be worse. Could have walked all that way and not got nothing too.
Oh yeah. I've done that a time or two.
Yeah.
But we did her, man.
Thank you.
We're here, we got her done.
You think you'll be able to eat some supper tonight?
You better believe it.
I'll bet.
Back down where the meat is.
August 30th. Day number 3. Yippee skippy. So woke this morning to the sight of something molested our meat during the night. So grizzly or wolves would be the first suspects. We did see wolverines. I've never had wolverines come in and steal that stuff, but yeah, we don't see anything out and about. But the meat's definitely out of the bushes.
You hunt them down like a sheep killing dog.
This is all that's left of the meat. The game bags with the quarters are nowhere to be found. They ate whatever it is, ate something out of the back strap. They left the tenderloins. There's about a quarter of the other back strap left in the bag. Tarp's ripped up. And we had the meat sitting on the bushes, just whatever, 80 yards out of camp. He came in during the night, so there's no tracks left. You've seen a lot in your 3 days in hunting in Alaska, Pilgrim.
Absolutely, Billy.
It was windier than heck last night, so just telling these guys I kind of put that down right next to the runway, figuring they'd probably come pick it up today. But it was so windy, we probably, even if we had the thing right in camp, we wouldn't have thought really much about it. Once we were sleeping anyway, the noise, if there was, or whatever there was. Couple of young bulls, I guess, are the ones a bull anyway. I've been checking out our blue tarp, suppose they smell caribou, can't figure it out.
Back up the hill I go.
This is living, ain't it?
This is
Cold hands, wet feet,
well,
grizzly bears and
dry
wolves
now, but
circling us.
Don't expect they're gonna stay dry.
No. Well, here's what took the meat. It was a grizzly bear. There's his tracks in this mud pile. Right there's camp. Could get interesting yet today. Hopefully it just hauled this meat off into the bushes and left the rest of it. Whatever we get, we'll hang a little closer to camp, albeit it wasn't very far away. I just put it next to the runway. But good chance to be back. Don't want to have it real close to camp, but close enough where you can run them off. We got her packed up. Do a spin for me, Mad Dog, if you don't mind.
Do a spin?
Loaded up, heading for home. Doesn't look like August, does it?
Done her.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
The war is over.
Until the bear comes back, and then the war begins.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're gonna hang it here a little closer to camp. Wasn't a real big bear. Yeah, maybe a little over 6 foot, maybe by the track. Probably young enough to be stupid enough.
Am I tied up
So
on there, Billy?
I'll
Thank you.
so we'll be keeping an eye out for him and probably take care of Mad Dog's cape today.
The ambitions of man are as delicate as an Arctic flower.
Old one-shot Gustus.
The bounties of Mother Nature are here 1 minute and gone the next. Time in the natural world is a constant balance of hope and challenge. Like a deeply rooted willow bush, resilience drives the hunter forward. Hardship amplifies accomplishment. The wilds of Alaska are the ultimate provider of both.
Half hour ago we were drying stuff in the sun. I hope the old teepee survives it. Popping pretty good. Here's a pretty sight after the storm blew through about 9:30 at night. And another herd of caribou busted over the mountain right where we saw another herd, maybe a little bit bigger earlier today. No big bulls though.
With each new dawn, the adventurer rises and confronts the uncertainty that lies ahead. She's a little chilly this morning, huh, feller?
Yeah, we paid for this.
She's cool this morning. We slept in a little bit. It was blowing and snowing, kind of clearing up now. 9:30. We're heading out. It was probably, but it was below 20 this morning. Boots aren't thawed out just yet. Caribou are moving, so we're gonna climb up on the hill. The rock's pretty slick. There's a dandy bull. There's actually a few dandies in there with this one. I don't know if we'll be able to catch up to them or not. They're about 600 yards. I'm gonna have to try. Right there's the ones we're hoping for. We'll probably try getting up here as close as we can and hope they feed past us. Wind's kind of coming from left to right, but kind of coming towards us, quartering towards us. He's up here. Get as close as we can and wait. Hope they come toward us. Well, about as quickly as it began, it's over with. Pretty well had to sneak right past this crew. They spooked, and they got nervous. Group we had to walk past to try to get at these bulls. There was a couple dandies in there. But then, once they boogered, these saw them right away. If they'd have been a little bit farther back, we might have been all right. But we had to get in front of them to head them off. Paul can probably only shoot 100 yards is about all I'd want him to shoot with those open sights at Grandpa's old gun. So, it'd be a fine day if that wind wasn't blowing. Caribou are finally herding up. Biggest one I've seen about 4 miles that way is probably 80 head. So yeah, it's gonna be a little tougher. We could have shot some of those bulls at less than 300 yards, easy enough. But yeah, I kind of think Paul and I are both pretty well committed trying to get one with Grandpa's old Savage or nothing. But yeah, those were some dandies. Those would have been the biggest. Probably that one that had the polished horns would have probably been as big as any caribou in camp this year. He's a nice one. Day number 4, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. A whole bunch of caribou. I figure there's got to be 200. They're all pulled up in there. Lots of caribou, some good bulls. Lots of wind, lots of cold. Just didn't have anything coming close. Morning of day 5. Mad Dog, are you having fun yet?
Was until I went out to pee this morning. Damn bear came in and got the rest of all my meat. Gonna go out and kill me a darn bar today.
Well, the wind was blowing and snowing again last night and moved the meat close to camp, about 60, 70 yards away, and yeah, he came in and snagged the rest of her. He left it alone the night before, but he was back. We got cape and antlers left, and that's it.
Now it's in a bear gut.
Well, caribou's a bear turd. Caribou tenderloins and half a backstrap. Mad Dog.
Ooh.
He didn't get all your caribou.
Well, that's all marinated. That's ready for us to eat.
Yeah, we better throw that in your sleeping bag.
Better eat that tonight.
Ground's drone, camp phone, 2 game bags. Found what's left of this rib. Found that and a hindquarter that was pretty well intact and with a back strap. The other back straps, or the other back strap and the tenderloins we had in camp we were gonna eat. So we still have those, but yeah, I had it out about, at first I set it next to the runway, probably 120 yards out of camp, figuring hopefully Kurt would come in the next day, but the bear hit it that first night. It's been a long time since I've had a bear steal any meat from camp, especially with a kill that close. Usually they'll find the kill and they'll work on that, and then you got to kind of worry about them coming into camp. But it was a young bear, small bear by the track, and yeah, he just doesn't know any better yet. Yeah, so I guess that's just part of the deal. But the weather's good today, so Kurt's gonna come in, pick up what we do have. So we do have a little bit of meat. He'll get the cape and the horns out of here. Try to find another one. Well, so far the bear's left our beer. Mad Dog says if he takes our beer, we're really gonna have problems.
It's, yeah.
Heading up to the Glass and Knob, another herd. That's the biggest bull in this crew above camp. Close. He's at least 1.5 miles from camp. Kind of watch him to see what he's gonna do, but they seem to be staying pretty well put in there. There's Curtis coming in to retrieve what's left of the dog's caribou. Your horns and cape might make it out of here yet, huh, Mad Dog?
Well, like I said before, as long as they make it.
Kind of a quartering wind. I guess down in that bottom, it's probably darn near a straight on headwind. It ain't gonna take him much to stop there. Maybe rouse the bear out of those bushes. Giving that gnarled up rib meat a once over. He's seen that a time or two. He's got her all there.
There we go.
He's just gonna give her.
Looking away. Destination's further down.
Well, there's caribou all over the place today. 1st of September. Got a bunch down here with a couple of decent bulls, maybe respectable. With opportunities lost and days slipping away, the psyche is transformed. When the notion of failure emerges, our true motivation for being there is brought to the forefront. More than numbers on a tape measure, trophies on a wall, or even stories to tell, hunting is a deeply personal journey for each one of us. Our most cherished experiences are the ones we can't describe, nor do we care to. Sitting on that hill, gazing at the Brooks Range and watching herds of caribou, my grandpa's Savage lay beside my father. 9 years since his passing, it was the first time my dad ever hunted with his father's rifle. Gus and I were there beside him, but on that day on the Alaskan tundra, it was my grandpa who Dad was hunting with. Well, we were watching big herds of caribou over here yesterday. This is kind of where they're all kind of ending up and congregating. This wind's pretty well from our right to our left, a little bit at our backs. We are making an attempt at an interception. Caribou all around us. These caribou have been kind of coming towards us, and then they veered way off. They were heading to the north, and they were kind of lolling around there, so we just decided, well, let's go here in case they change directions, because they've been doing that all day long pretty much. So we're gonna be within about 500 yards of them once we peek over here, but they'll have to get a little closer. We're just getting down into the creek bottom where we got some cover to move side to side and kind of try to gauge which way they might go. So we're down off the mountain near the river. Problem is, there's been so darn many caribou everywhere that everywhere you go, you're gonna boost caribou. So we got a little break. So the one bull, he's pretty decent, nothing great. We're hoping for something maybe a little bigger, but he's respectable. So we'll give him a roll. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. If you want to load yours up, Mad Dog, you can for backup. They're right here. You loaded on safety?
Yep.
And take your pack off if you want. 150. Do you want to lay prone? Here, lay your safety on. Yeah, just watch your rifle barrel. Don't point it at me. He's 150. So wait, you know which one he is?
Huh?
You know which one he is?
Was the first, wasn't it?
Yep. Don't shoot that.
Put his head down,
Yep. Just relax. Don't shoot. Wait for him to separate. Just wait. Alright, if you're real steady on him there. It's right behind the front shoulder. Reload. Reload. Just reload. Reload. Did you smoke that thing? I think you might have hit him right in the brain or something, because he hasn't quivered at all.
Look at that! Oh, Moggy! Congratulations, buddy. Yeah, he's trying to wait a little bit, but he ain't making much effort of it. My God. Well,
the old open sights at 150 yards, he did all right. Well, but holy man, I mean, it's not easy sneaking up on these suckers. If
I think we had a snowball's chance.
That's where we were glassing from, and we went down and around, and I don't know, these caribou were kind of moving all over the place. They were pretty much heading right to where we were glassing. We actually climbed up to get them.
He ain't going anywhere.
We got the right one. I mean, that's the biggest one we saw today in striking distance.
Isn't he pretty, that white one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. I didn't know which one you were after for sure. Well, you don't need no backup, Moggy, for cripe's sake. What the hell am I crawling around these mountains for? Backing you up. Hell, fire.
I'm just going to show you how to shoot with open sights.
Well, what draw?
Justice.
You done good. Find the one shot, one kill club. Good one, I think.
Well, the old Savage came through, huh, Pa?
Yep. Another day I didn't bring my camera. See, every time I don't bring it, good comes.
Well, that's the way that works.
I told you we were going to do her today.
Yeah, you did.
Well, you screw up enough and it's bound to work at some point. Every stock where I thought we were doing it right, it went haywire. This one, it just was wrong the whole time, but it worked somehow. But Mad Dog's got some meat again, at least until tonight. And then the Savage shot an Alaskan animal, by God. You've never shot anything in your life that's made Boone and Crockett, have you, Pa? Nope. Why start now, huh? Oh, heck, he ain't bad, though. He's got tall... I'm gonna go check him out. Yeah. He's got tall rack, though. No. Oh, yeah, he flopped around a little bit there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, check his eyeball there.
I did.
Yeah, I thought you did. No, that's just pretty reflexes. Biggest caribou you've ever shot. Bigger than anyone I've ever shot.
First and last.
Did you think he was gonna get her done there, Mad Dog?
I said that this morning. Today is your day, Malky. You're gonna get her.
Yeah, he did. Everybody had doubts of my shooting. I told them I could hit a 4x8 on the plywood at 75 yards, so that was good enough.
Yeah, I think when I was trying to get Dad to come up on this hunt, and then he talked to Greg, Mad Dog, about it. Then the old man was pretty jacked up about it. And then when I said, hey, you know what you need to do? You need to come up here and shoot a caribou with Grandpa's old Savage. And I think that pretty much cemented the deal, and that's what hunting's all about. It's the heritage, the memories of the people that taught you how to do it, those memories of when you were a kid. I was telling Greg, you could see that, and my dad, he's all gimped up, bad knees from milking cows, bad back from picking rocks and throwing hay bales, but when he'd see that caribou, he'd do whatever he could to run to get to the spotting scope to see it. So it was still pretty neat for me to see the kid kind of come out, and these guys that I hunted with when I was a young kid, and showed me pretty much what I know about hunting. So yeah, it was I guess one of those moments in life where things come full circle, and to do it with my grandpa's rifle, that made it all the more special. We had made our determination that we weren't gonna borrow Greg's odd 6, or Dad wouldn't, to shoot a caribou. It was gonna be done with this or nothing, and this is it. This will be a memory that we'll all have for the rest of our lives. So.
Well, today was just an awesome day. There were just caribou, they were strung out. There was a herd of about 300, 4 or 5 miles to the south. They were heading the wrong way. And then, there must have been a couple hundred or so strung out back behind us. They were heading this way. We sat up on the knob, and it was just a beautiful sight to see all the God and nature's animals out there. And I feel a little sorry for this old feller. But I guess better than a wolf getting him.
No, these are part of these guys definitely are part of the reason why I'm here doing what I'm doing. Like I said, when I was deer hunting with them as a kid, those memories like today of seeing those caribou out there, I mean, I'll never forget it as long as I live. Seeing that bull moose, seeing the wolverine, having the grizzly bear come into camp. That's what hunting in Alaska is all about. It's not about the inches. It's about that stuff, and 2 old friends coming together, and Grandpa's rifle taking a caribou down in Alaska. So now, you guys taught me how to butcher, or how to gut my first deer. You guys, I'll teach you how to gut and butcher a caribou. How's that sound? Butchering this bull. And that bull moose that we were seeing earlier stepped out. Figure he's low to mid-50s. Well, the grizzly bear got the other one, but this one's nice and fat. Tons of fat, about as fat as any caribou I've ever seen. There's darn near an inch of fat along the back strap. So we're gonna get him butchered up. Probably get most of them hauled back to camp tonight. Mad Dog's gonna be on guard duty. He wants all this meat flown home, so we're gonna give him a 12-pack of beer and a bunch of firewood, and he can guard it all night. I think I wanted to do this hunt more than my dad did. I know I did. Wanted him to hunt with Grandpa's rifle. This is our last hurrah together. No doubt about it. He's busting his hump doing this pack. Farmed his whole life. Bad back, bad knees, bad everything. Wore out his body. It's a pretty cool deal. You two old farts got her done somehow, huh? We're bringing the meat nice and close to the tents tonight. If Grizz is gonna steal this one, he's gonna earn it.
September 2nd, 6:30.
You have any words of wisdom for us this morning, Mad Dog?
Give me a little while. I think it's something intelligent.
Or at least we think it's intelligent.
Well, depending on what level of intelligence you're thinking.
Absolute hog. I kind of figured that might happen. All those caribou working our way. That one on the left is an absolute toad there. The only problem is they're all around us. About the time you'd go moving in on one, hard telling if you'd get close enough. We use a cord full of beer cans, put some pots and pans by the meat. Last night, so you could hear the bear and the wind. The wind died down.
That was our signaling device for the bear. Kurt Dog's coming to pick up caribou. Kurt's making a little cross strip landing on the dog leg. I think we're gonna call her a day and call her a hunt. Mad Dog's down there reading Western novels and resting up his swollen foot. So we'll have one more night in the tundra if the weather holds and fly back to base camp tomorrow. This hunt and the Brooks Range season 2013 will be concluded. Waiting to get flown out. It's been waiting on the weather. It's starting to clear up now. And a nice herd of caribou. September 4th. Weather's finally breaking up. We're packing her up. Time to go, Mad Dog. Your chariot is incoming. Do you want to leave is what I'm asking you.
Other night wouldn't have been bad.
Yeah.
But being that I'm packed up now, I reckon I gotta go.
It's time, man. Say la vie, dog.
Hold on, camp. Be seeing you dudes in a little bit. Foot here.
Yeah. Any of them bars there. Okay.
Adios, amigos.
About 40 minutes.
40 minutes? Wow.
40 minutes.
That's quick. Mad Dog is out of here. And Paul and I are packing her up. We'll leave one tent and always leave tent, sleeping bag, stove, food till the last run. Certainly a weapon. You never know in Alaska. Time has come, Pa.
Yeah.
Any words of wisdom?
Well, hunt's over. Good hunt. Well, like I say, time to plant the wheat. Look for a good bean and corn harvest. Get ready for deer hunting.
Fellas are gone. Hunt is over with. It was a good trip. Suppose could have gone a little better, but it could have much more easily have gone worse. I think they got the adventure they were hoping for. And they did pretty good. Did some pretty decent shooting. Got a couple of decent caribou. We could have got, the only way it could have been better, we could have shot 2 whoppers the morning after my dad shot his right from camp, but that's hunting, that's the way that goes. But overall, I think they had a good adventure. They'll be telling many, many yarns about in hunting camps as they hunt together and see each other more in the future. So,
Arguing with you, Woodrow, always made me thirsty.
you wave that thing around enough, you might find it, darling.
Hell, I gotta tell you something. I had a girl named Lori one time, and she wanted to cut the carts. I said, okay. Yeah, I see it now. I'm gonna shoot him.
That's the same one we had in camp.
Really?
And this is Lonesome Dove North.
Yeah, that's what it is.
We don't rent pigs.
Taking the herd north tomorrow.
Yeah.
One shot, one kill, Augustus, right here.
That's my buddy.
You ain't got this thing on, do you?
I had it on about 3 seconds too late.
Shut that damn thing on.
Oh, it's Greg down. We're gonna have to go that way, south.
That's east.
I don't think that's south. South would be that way.
You got Mad Dog ready to rock. But you guys need to be ready.
Okay.
The boys have been sleeping in there for about 20 minutes now, so I think it's time to wake them up, have a little fun with them. Bear, bear.
I think you got us that one.
They had the short bus in school when we were going to school. We'd have probably been riding the short bus.
Okay, I'm done.
That's one of those things.
For more information on other DVDs, books, and modern-day mountain man apparel, log on to BillyMolesAdventures.com. Here you'll also find information on Alaskan hunting opportunities with Billy for Dall sheep, caribou, moose, brown bear, grizzly bear, as well as white-tailed deer hunting in Wisconsin. Much of Billy's off-season is devoted to public speaking. He travels across the country sharing his knowledge and passion for the wilderness at corporate events, schools, conservation organizations, wild game dinners, Christian outreach events, and much more. Billy is a master storyteller. Attendees are sure to be entertained, educated, and inspired. Log on or call for more information.